Hey, you guys! Hello! It's day 5. How are you? I hope you're joining me today. I am super excited about the live webinar today. I have been working my hiney off. Let me tell you what. I forgot to eat most of the day yesterday. I was so busy getting everything ready for today. This has been a really incredible week, and I am excited about doing this wrap up with you guys today. I'm going to give you a few minutes to jump on. If you're here and you'd like to say hello, that would be awesome. Just type in hello down below. Tell me who you are, where you're joining us from, and we'll go from there. I have a really great agenda for today. I have a bunch of stuff to share with you. I have a new free resource I'm going to be giving you. I'm going to be talking about my virtual Rockstar program. I'm really excited about that. This has been, honestly, 5 years in the making, and I'll tell you that quick story today. But the truth is, really, just in the last 4 months or so, I've been like working it and honing it. I've had a few people in there, working through it with me, testing it, and it's like the big debut today, or the birthday, or I don't know. I've been in labor all this time, and here we go. But it's really exciting, and I'm glad you guys are here to share it with me. So who is here? Hi, Julie. It's Kate from Seattle. My gosh, Kate. Hey, baby. Hi. So excited. Look where I am in my office. I love this too, you guys. I did this earlier in the year because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of live streams. So I created this whole cool background. I want to do one quick thing before I get started, because I use BeLive to do my my Facebook live cast, and for whatever reason, they don't show me who is commenting, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. It's sort of like a weird bug in their system. So I want to go and make sure that I have the comments showing here on, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Here on my other computer, my laptop, so I know who I'm actually talking with. See? Like Maggie Avery. Hi, Maggie. Great to see you. See, all it says on my thing is comment from Facebook user. Well, that doesn't really help when, we need to be personal on these lives. So apparently they've been working on it. They're going to be fixing it. Who knows? Anyway, a couple of announcements that I have for you before we get started. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I don't usually wear these when I live cast because, see, there's like a reflection from, I have a ring light that I use to make sure that I look good when I'm live casting. Anyway, so I'm going to do some review and a little bit of bonus sort of training, talking about where you are and where you're going in the beginning of the live broadcast today. I'm going to take questions at the end. So do take notes, and I'll be looking at I'll be taking some time and looking at the questions as we go as well, but do take notes, and let me know, so that you have those questions written down at the end. I also tend to multitask when I'm on these live streams. So if I seem a little scattered, that is the reason why, because there's comments here and my notes and everything that I'm wanting to make sure that I keep track of. Plus I have 2 different computers and 2 different mouses, and it's so fun. Hi, Kim. So glad to be here, but I am driving while I listen. That's okay. Just don't look down. Okay. I am going to be sharing my screen. There is a slideshow component because I really love the visual aspect of that. I mean, you can look at me and watch me talk for an hour, but I think it's better to have a little bit more of a visual. So you just know that if you have questions, we're going to be getting to those at the end. Okay. Hi, Jane. Welcome. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. So that's the first thing. A couple of announcements before we get started. First of all, there's still time to catch up and go through the material, the 5 or the 4 learning modules. And then I'm also going to post the replay of this video over in the educational portion of the program. So if you haven't done that yet, no worries. You'll have plenty of time. You'll have all the way till next Friday. You can go through the videos, which are really short, download all the worksheets so you have those. This group will remain. This group isn't going anywhere. This is my free private membership group. If you're in here and you go through the worksheet for day number 2 next month, you can definitely come back, post your homework, ask questions. I will be here and available. So just don't worry about that at all, okay? Julianne Jones is whiskey in a teacup, right? I know. My significant other bought me that in, he's on the East Coast and I was visiting and he's working back there and we were in, not Alexandria, the other one, Fredericksburg. He's at Quantico, so he's kind of in between the two. And he saw that and he goes, oh, I'm getting that for you. So I thought, yeah, I better put that up. It kind of does describe me, I think. So don't worry if you haven't gotten through all of the material yet. The challenge will remain up. Just take a deep breath and know that all is well. So my virtual Rockstar program, as I said a minute ago, opens today. I'm going to be talking more about that later on in the call today. I will be talking about what you've learned. And we're also going to look at where there are probably holes in what you know. I mean, like, I didn't have time to cover every single thing you need, right? And there is a whole process about this. And we're going to talk about the holes that we need to fill up to get your online program done and to get your launch started so that you can really start trading in on that superpower that I hope you've identified. Okay, so let's dive in. I am going to show my screen. Cool. Awesome. We have several people on. I'm so happy. You know, there's always this fear, especially for me now in my new iteration as the virtual Rockstar with this new niche that I'm going to go live and nobody's going to show up. Because in my old iteration, I would have 3,500 people sign up for a free webinar. That was not unusual. And so, you know, this is a little bit of a new area for me. And so those of you that are here live with me, you guys rock. I love you. And this is going to be interactive. I'm going to ask you to type some comments and I'm going to ask you to let me know, you know, if what I'm talking about is resonating with you and share those kind of things. So, all right, here we go. So what I was talking about is throughout the course of this entire 5-day challenge, what I've been doing is pulling back the curtain and letting you see how I do a launch. And today is really the final step in that process. And so hopefully you've been watching during the challenge, because the whole point of the challenge is to help you figure out what you want to offer with your program and then share that with the world. How do you launch that out to the world using the launch process? And what I did really through this 5-day challenge, this was a launch for me, right? I created my program and then I did a launch, a 5-day challenge, and I launched it out into the world. And so hopefully you've been kind of watching so you can reverse engineer what I've done. And today I want you to watch as I go through this sales webinar, because today, I mean, it's a Q&A webinar. We're going to talk about what we've done. I'm going to take your questions and I'm going to offer my program. I'm going to talk about my program as well. For those of you that think you might want to go deeper with me. Okay, awesome. So number one, day one, let's talk about what we went through already. I just want to do a quick recap. We started at the beginning by defining what your superpower is and how you identify that. And then I shared a specific system for getting clear about your ideal clients. And we identified the problem that you solve for that client. Okay, so that was all really, day one was really all about who are you and who do you serve? Okay, so I'm just curious to know if anybody in here had a challenge with that. I know that there were a couple of big breakthroughs. And I know that I actually shared side-by-side screenshots of Angie Schaefer she was totally lost the night before. And then the next morning, she's like, I had a breakthrough this morning and this is so cool. And here I know what my superpower is. And she really went from like A to F or G. Like she took a big leap overnight. And then she posted again this morning about the stuff she's doing. So I'm curious to know if any of you, noticed anything coming up for you around this, felt like you were totally confused, weren't sure what was happening or what your superpower was, weren't sure exactly how to take that superpower and create a program that people would want to buy or a transformation that they would be interested in having. And if so, just drop those in the comments. Let me know that, first of all, was it easy for you? Was it hard? Do you feel like you at least have a start on this? I'm just curious to know about that. And there is a bit of a lag, so I'm going to take a drink. And hopefully you guys can share with me, because that's a big part of what I wanted to do today. It's a back and forth. It's a give and take. It was so fun. Angie says it was so fun to follow your launch and day-to-day challenges. Beyond helpful. I love that. That makes me really happy. Like I said at the beginning, I put a lot of time and energy into this. And, you never know when you create something, what's going to happen when you put it out into the world. And so it was really great to see all the people who were going through it and learning. And thank you guys for sharing, because I really appreciate the journey that you were on as well. Cool. Kate says, super helpful to have a little side coaching from you so that I could zero in on the best clients to serve. Also acknowledging that there will be different programs that cover more people. Yeah, that's an important conversation. And, you know, you're not just a one program person, right? It could be that you have a lot more than just one program. And that you're reaching different people for different things. And so this is a model that you can take now and create a system for yourself so that moving forward, when you come up with something, you know, like, so now you're talking about maybe, you know, in my case, I started out talking about what I knew, which was how to develop a great home party and the 5 components of that. And then as I moved through the next few years, I realized that there was a huge gap in the organizational component for the people I was working with. They did not know how to be organized. They didn't know how to create a schedule. And so I created a whole new program around organization. And I've done that several times. And so it really is important to think about this in terms of not just this one thing, but moving forward, what you can create with that. Super. Okay. So day number 2, go back. There we go. Was all about, I'm like doing 4 things at once here. Here we go. Defining your process so that you could use that to create your program. And there really is an awesome worksheet that walks you through the process. The learning module, the actual video, isn't very long. The work on day 2 comes through that worksheet. So if you haven't done it yet, go download the worksheet and go through that process. And then we also looked at how to put those pieces that you identified in your process into an online program. And I talked a little bit about hosting solutions for your program. And I included in that the 𝘂𝗄 platform, which is the one I use and I love because it's comprehensive. It's really simple, fairly simple. It's totally affordable. And I offered you that platform discount that I get. I'm personal friends with them. I'm a certified partner with, and so because I'm an expert in that platform. So they give me almost half off the normal price for a year to offer to my followers. So there are a couple of links on, I think, two of the days in the challenge to the '22social platform. So you can check that out. But that's really important. And I'm working with a client, a personal client right now. And she's really, she's frustrated or concerned about that. You know, I'm not a tech savvy person. How am I going to get this program online? And it was easy for me to say, with '22social, I promise it's going to be easy peasy. And the other thing I want to say about this really quickly that I might not have mentioned is you have to let go of feeling like this needs to look perfect for you. Okay. I want to talk about this because it really is near and dear to my heart. If you feel like you're not going to do anything, you're not going to launch anything until it's absolutely 100%, all the T's crossed and I's dotted, and it's perfect, it looks great, the branding's there, you know, like you know that it's what you want, then you're going to launch it. You're never going to launch. You know, it's like saying you're going to wait until you can afford it to have kids. That's just never going to happen. And so I really want you to think about letting it good enough be. You know, and I'll share with you from a really vulnerable moment. I worked like 14 hours yesterday straight. I didn't eat. I got up to let the house cleaner in and let my dog out. And I mean, I was head down jamming because I've had a really busy couple weeks. This final webinar was not done at the beginning of the day yesterday. I hadn't even started it. The sales page for the program I'm going to be offering you was not done. I hadn't started it. I mean, I had an idea, but that was it. And those are 2 really big projects. And then I had a training I had to do for one of my existing clients, leaders at 8 a.m. I had a bunch of other people emailing me stuff. I had, you know, messenger business things. I had an interview with somebody at noon for a summit that I'm doing for her. And in between all that, I'm like starting to panic. And honestly, I didn't even start this webinar until after 1. And there was a point last night at about 5:30 when I literally said to myself out loud, because I talk to myself a lot, you have to be okay with this being good enough, Jules. You gotta let it go. I'm getting emotional. You have to be okay with it. Just, it's good enough. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Okay. So I'm curious to know how you guys feel about that. Does that resonate with you? Is that, you know, something that a conversation you have with yourself ever? And, you know, just drop in the comments. If you give me a yes, if you have ever been there, if you feel that way sometimes. And you have to give yourself the grace to just let it be okay. Let it be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know what? Nobody expects it to be perfect but you. That's the bottom line. Okay, so let me go look at my comments really quickly because I want to see what you guys are, or if you're picking up what I'm putting down, that's what one of my mentors says. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, we got a bunch of these. So Angie, I had some points where I had to walk away and throw ideas out there and then come back later. Absolutely. And you know what I find so many times when I do that, I come back, like this morning, I came back with fresh eyes. I had Mark, my significant other, looked over and did some proofreading last night. He's a rockin' proofreader. And then this morning I went back to that page and I was like, oh, okay, I just need to tweak that. But yesterday I was so cross-eyed by the 12th hour, I just couldn't see it anymore. So you're right. Sometimes you need to walk away. Kate, super helpful to have a little side coaching. Oh, yep, she said that. Okay. Very helpful. And I had to look beyond my everyday to discover my superpower. Oh, I love that. Everything started to come together with that. I love that. I love that. Yes. Everyone is always telling me, just take it one step at a time. Be real. Don't worry about perfection. Good, good. Yep. If you guys take nothing else from this today, I hope you take that, because that is a message that I'm passionate about sharing. And, I have to remind myself all the time about that. Constantly just saying, chill out, Julie. Geez. It's okay. I was shouting at myself a little bit yesterday. I was so frustrated. Get it together, because I was so tired and I was hungry and I was clicking the wrong links. And so it's okay. Just keep breathing. It's all going to work out. That's going to sort itself out. It's okay to be just good enough. I'm a wee bit of a perfectionist. Yeah, I hear you. Me too, Kate. I know how that goes. I'm always challenged to let things go and trust that the content is all going to be there. After teaching for 20 years, I'm better with that now. Well, we've both grown up a lot. Just for those of you that don't know, Kate and I were high school besties. We're now adult besties. And yeah, we've watched each other grow and change a lot. But sometimes, your core personality, that need to be perfect, doesn't necessarily change. So the best you can do is manage it. Cool. All right. Next, let's keep moving. So day 3 was all about the benefits of the launch. So that's what I've talked about during day 3. You learned why launches are so great for your business. I talked about the 3 different types of launches that you could do. And there are, those are just the 3 most common. They're the ones that I've used and the ones that 99% of the people out there doing launches use. And then I shared 3 steps in my 4-step launch. It's actually a 6-step launch process. And that's a typo. It should say 6 steps. I shared 4 of those steps. I shared 3 of the 4 on day 3. And what we talked about was setting up your challenge, driving traffic to your challenge, and running your challenge once you actually got started. Those are all really big conversations, and I cover them in a pretty short period of time. But really, truly, the bottom line is getting your ducks in a row before you ever hit the go button and the rocket takes off on that launch. And there is a great checklist again for this day that will really give you at least an idea of what you need to have in place before you get started. And I also shared that on one of the slides. Cool. And then on day 4, we looked more deeply into trading in on your launch momentum and going live at the end, just like I'm doing today. So I shared my pain formula. That's the marketing formula that I use to get clients on board and invested in wanting my solution. And I talked about how you use that formula for yourself, for your own solution. We also talked about selling the results and not the details of your program. So the analogy that I always use is if you're booking a destination vacation to, Bali, the travel agent is not going to sit there and talk to you about the flight and all the things that'll happen during the flight. They're going to talk to you about the result, the destination. Here's what you get when you land. And that's really what you want to focus on when you're selling. And then finally, I shared the concept of creating an irresistible offer during your live webinar. So these 4 steps are huge. And you basically now have my blueprint for creating and getting your program online and done and launched so that you can scale your business, build your brand, and begin to work with a lot more clients. That's really the goal. And the thing I love the most about launches is, and I was telling someone this yesterday, even if, somebody at the end of that launch doesn't eventually purchase what it is you're offering, it doesn't matter, because they're still connected with you. Your know, like, and trust factor with them has gone through the roof because they've just gone through, in our case, 5 days, learning from you, getting your material, and now they're, excited about working with you. Hopefully, whether it's, paid or whatever, you guys are all in that private Facebook group. And that Facebook group is where I am. I'm going to be hanging out there every day. It'll be continuing. I'll be continuing to add people to it. I have there's over like 250 people, almost 300 people in there now, just in the last month. And the idea is for me to be able to use that to reach people and share my message. So that was really the 4 educational days. Anybody have anything? I'm just curious to kind of know how you feel in this process. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, let's make it that. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you are as far as feeling like you could do this? Not tomorrow, and maybe not without more information, but is this something that you feel like, wow, this is something I maybe didn't know I could do on Monday that I'm kind of excited about exploring now? Maybe I don't have every single piece that I need. Yeah, there are some holes in that formula that I need to fill in. And I can see now that there's a path that I maybe didn't even know was there on Monday that I can go down. Just give me a yes. Yeah, I'm excited. Yes, I'm interested. Or yeah, I want to, a couple of people have commented about the days. Bill, sorry I'm late. Missed the time zone memo. Did I miss anything? Oh, you missed everything, Bill. No, it's fine. I've basically just been recapping what we've gone through on each day up to now, from days 1 through 4, and talking a little bit more about that. So you're good. And there is a replay, so you can always go back and replay, and then you won't have missed anything. That's the beauty of technology, right? Kate says, day 3 kicked my butt. Oh man, as a person, excuse me, with little to no business acumen, I felt like I was reading a map for the dark side of the moon. Nothing wrong with the material. I just have a lot to learn. I think that is so powerful, Kate. And I hear it all the time. Like I said, I was working with my client on this week, and she was having a little bit of a panic attack about it. And the truth is, you'll cross that bridge when you come to it. And if you're working with me, we'll cross that bridge when you come to it. And it's never as hard as you think. I think the key is to just keep using the mantra, I've got this. That's going to sort itself out. The tools I need will show up when I need them, and I'm going to be able to figure it out. And, there's always a way to either figure it out yourself or hire someone to do it for you for the components that are just too difficult. Some people aren't techie. I am techie. I'm very blessed that I'm techie because I've been able to do a lot of stuff that I would have had to outsource on my own. But that also means, and I'm not going to lie, as I was sitting here yesterday doing 5 or 6 different things that if I had a virtual assistant, I could have turned over to them, I was really frustrated. And the first thing I'm going to do once I get into a position where I have a more systematic, approach with this new business is hire a VA to help out, because I'm a big believer in outsourcing. And especially if it's something that you're not great at, that's not one of your superpowers, why are you doing it? Why not focus on what you're really good at, and then let somebody else help you with the rest? So I love that. Yes, I can do this. Yes, you can, Kim. Definitely clearer and excited. Angie says some holes to fill in with content. Absolutely. And that's just, that's the nature of it. And honestly, again, pulling back the curtain, totally transparent, the holes are there because I'm going to offer you a paid solution today that obviously I want you to take me up on. I want you to come work with me. I want to be able to get in with you, get my hands all over stuff, dive in, give you all the little details and systems that you need. That's the reason that I did this challenge, was because I wanted to launch my program out into the world, just like what you're going to be doing. So take that for, at face value. When you're doing your launch, what you're doing is you're providing amazing content that gives people the action steps that they need, but doesn't tell them every single thing that they have to have in place to make that happen necessarily. That's where your paid program comes in. And it's not like you're going, oh, I'm going to hold this, so you have to buy it from me. No, that's not it. It's owning your value and saying, I have this amazing, valuable program that takes this incredible content you got for the last 4 days and goes even deeper. And I want to share that with you. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. That's a whole hold your value piece is what that's about. And, if you've identified a transformational superpower that you can go and share with someone that will change their life, or open up a new stream of income, or improve something that they're not very good at right now, that's worth a lot. And so that makes you really, really valuable and your information valuable too. So cool. All right, let me see. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love that you feel you can do this, Kim. That I couldn't ask for anything else. I was really afraid as I created this challenge that people were going to run from the room screaming, going, oh, and one person did actually respond. She found me through someone else, and she responded in a messenger message, and she said, stop messaging me. I'm opting out of this challenge. And I thought, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I would have helped you if you had asked, you know, if you had come to the group and said, I'm frustrated. So I don't know what happened. I'm not taking it personally. I'm just assuming maybe it wasn't the right thing for her at the right time. Fantastic. Okay. Let's keep moving. Okay, so I wanted to talk about one more thing about the challenge we've just been through. You have an amazing start, first of all. And I want to give you this one more free gift that I think is going to help tie things together. I was thinking about this yesterday. This is actually the worksheet that goes along with another lead magnet that I use. It's a video called 5 Signs That You're Ready to Leverage Your Expertise and Launch. But this is a little more comprehensive than anything else I shared with you guys. It's a complete checklist that covers 4 steps to leverage and launch, including strategy, setup, assets, and your launch itself. And there is some information in here that I did not share during the challenge that I thought would support you in implementing what I did teach. So the link to this will be below the video when I post it in the content area. I'll also make sure that it's in the comments here, or the description, sorry, for this live. When I'm done, I'll go in and add that, but you'll also be able to find it with the button. Okay, so cool. So that being said, I'm thrilled with where you guys have come. And like I said, I want to talk about a lot of what you don't have, things that you're going to need to have in place to actually put your program together and launch it. So let's look at what those components are. Okay, that's what we're going to do next. And I've really just laid these out for you. So this is what is missing. This is what you don't have yet. Okay, the first thing is mindset. I did not touch on mindset at all during this challenge because there just wasn't enough time, and it was kind of an executive decision on my part. But this is where I really start in every paid program that I've ever done, and it's where I start in this one. If your mindset isn't working for you, no matter what action you take, you're going to derail your progress. Okay, so that's the first piece of this. That is, and it's module 1 of my program. It's where we always begin. Okay, the second one, sorry about that. There we go. Is defining your ideal clients and your process. So there's a lot more to this than the surface work that we did. Okay. And you have to know exactly who you're going to be marketing to and what your program can do for them before you can market that effectively. Okay. So we've started that. I want to give you an example of a client who's working through my program now. I actually did a live stream with her on Wednesday. Her name is Brandy Tucker. And in the course of that live stream, as we were talking about how she came up with the idea for her program that she's creating. And she just like total Reader's Digest. She's using a really cool online app, phone app called Shuffle. And it's a virtual business card. And she's a direct seller. And she's figured out a system for using these business cards to totally run her business, follow up with her hosts, train her team. Like it's amazing what she created. And I actually reached out to her because she was a coaching client of mine in the direct sales realm and said, dude, you have a program here that would be incredibly valuable. And she started to see it. But what she was talking about as we talked about this was that she thought she knew her process. So she got the idea for the course, and then she started going through module 2, which is all about your process and how do you work with your clients. And she said it dawned on her that as she really started looking at it, that she was skipping some prime components, that where she thought that she would start in module 1 didn't end up being where she started, because if she did start there, they wouldn't have the information they needed. So she had to go back and do some more basic training with them around how to get started before she jumped to this next step. And so she needed to break it down more specifically. And that's really what the second phase in my program does, is it really helps you break that down so that you know that you have what you need. Okay, so right now you don't have that. That's a component that I didn't have time to share. Number 3 content creation and pricing. So creating your program content and putting it together into a cohesive program that gets your clients results. And it builds on number 2. But once you've defined all those pieces, you have to have a systematic way of putting them together and then creating the educational components and the implementation components, and they're different. So you got, on each day of this challenge, an educational component, which was the video, the training, and you got an implementation component, which was the worksheet that said, okay, now take what you learned and put it into practice and apply it to your own situation. And you have to be able to look at each step in your process and figure out what those components are, okay? And you need to make sure that those are going to move your clients through the program so they're getting results. So you also need to look at how you'll structure your program and what your pricing will look like. And I have a very specific formula for how you do that so that you feel comfortable making your offer. This is a huge question mark for many, many people. And it's probably the question I get the most often around how do I start my online business? How, with this program, how do I price it? So, and then the 4th thing is what I call marketing mastery. You need a marketing system that's going to allow you to attract ideal clients and easily sell them your program. That's the bottom line. Marketing is the most important part of the process, because no matter how great the thing is you create, if you can't get it out there and sell it, nobody's going to be paying attention. So what do you need to have in place inside your marketing system so that people are anxious to buy from you? And that includes how to create a compelling marketing page that sells your program. So I talked about the final webinar. I talked about my pain formula. You got a lot of great information. I didn't talk at all about creating a sales page because, again, I didn't have time to do that. I have a specific fill in the blank process for that. And that's a hole right now that you need to fill if you decide that you're really going to move forward with this. So cool. So anybody, let me see here. I want to go back. Share with me how, what all this sort of means to you. So does this make sense to you? What I just shared, these 4 areas that you're missing now that you're going to need to have filled in. Does it feel overwhelming? Share an adjective with me about how you're feeling around this part of it, the part that you don't know yet, because I'm just curious to know kind of where you are with that, how you feel about that. And I'll take a drink of my tea while I'm waiting because there's a lag. There we go. Yes, it makes sense. I love it. Okay. How are you feeling about this, guys? How's it sitting with you? How's it resonating? Are you energized? Oh, I love that, Bill. Yay, excited. Oh, you guys, I'm so relieved. I was afraid you were going to go overwhelmed. Oh, good. Yes, that's how I want you to feel. I want you to feel excited. This is so doable, you guys. I'm not smarter than anybody else. I just took the time and figured it out, 10 years ago, and have progressed with that as things have changed and grown through the online process, for sure. Okay. This is easier to imagine than day 3. This is easier to imagine. Yeah, I know. And it was really hard for me as I was creating the challenge because I wanted to make sure I didn't overwhelm you, make sure I didn't have you drink from a fire hose, right? But also give you enough information so that you'd go, yeah, this is possible for me. This is a income path that I didn't see before that I could do. And it's funny because Kate, you and I have been talking about this for a couple of years, right? And I've been saying, you are amazing at what you do. We need to create an online program for you. And so when you told me you were going to go through this challenge, I was so excited because I see huge potential, earning potential. I mean, income replacing potential for what you have to offer. And there are people already doing it. So I know it's possible. So fantastic. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep going. You guys can go ahead and post if you want to. I'll be checking back if you want to answer that question. Anybody else? Awesome. Cool. So let's talk about the Virtual Rockstar program. I'm telling you guys, this is a baby. So everything I just shared in this challenge basically comes down to systems, right? So you're going to need systems in order to get your course created. You're going to need to have systems to get it online, systems to market it. And the Virtual Rockstar program is designed to walk you step by step through each phase in that process. So it's designed to give you an exact blueprint so that you know the next step to take every single step along the way. And I want to share just really briefly the history of this program, okay? This won't take me very long, but it's kind of important. So I developed the Virtual Rockstar. I started in 2013, and I started it because when I took my business online, I did it kicking and screaming, you guys. I did not want to have an online business. I was making great money traveling, the country like a big rock star, speaking from the stage. And I had a great six-figure income as a direct sales speaker, and that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I have a degree in theater. I love to speak. It's my happy place. I'm like an attention hog. So when everyone's focused on me, it makes me really happy. And so I was doing that for about 3 years. And then at the end of 2008, in October of that year, the recession hit the United States, the big 2008 recession. And I had about 50 speaking engagements in 2008. And when I looked at my planning calendar at the end of that year, all of a sudden I realized I had nothing booked for 2009, zero, nothing. And I was a single mom with 2 little boys and a mortgage and a lot of other bills. And I thought, holy cow. And I looked in the mirror on January 1st and said, what are we going to do? Because ain't nobody coming to bail us out. I don't have rich parents. I was divorced, and I think I was getting a grand total of $250 a month in child support, and that doesn't cover much. And I knew I had to figure it out. And so I asked myself, well, where are my ideal clients? And clearly I'm not going to be reaching them from the stage for a while. So where are they? And where they were was this new thing called Facebook, Twitter, the whole online thing. Most of my people, I did a lot with Twitter in the beginning, but then I found that most of them were on Facebook. My demographic, that's where they were. And so I just basically took my courses. The first month in January, I wrote an ebook that paid my bills for the month. And then I recorded it as an audiobook the next month, and that paid my bills in February. And then I developed my first modular course, online course, just exactly what I'm talking about here. And I took what I did best, my superpower, which was, here's how you have a successful direct sales business. I know all these components because it's what I had done. And I put that into a 5-part modular course. I think it was called it was 4-part, the 4 keys to a successful direct sales business. That was the name of that course. I just remembered that. And so, and I made more money in 2009. I launched 2 courses that year. I made more money in 2009 than I had all of 2008 with those 50 speaking engagements. I had 3 speaking engagements in 2009. And I was like, okay, this is a lot easier. I can sit at my desk at home. I don't have to travel. And I'm reaching people and I'm making great money. So that whole launch process for me, that whole, figuring that out and putting it together came about in about a year or so. In 2011, my competitors, friends who were also speakers in my industry, were coming to me going, how'd you do this? You have all this, momentum. I had built my list to over 50,000 people. I had 30,000 fans on my business page, and I was offering stuff virtually. And they were saying, how'd you do this? Can you teach me? And so at the end of that year, actually, that was right around 2011, I thought about it for a year. The beginning of 13, I said, I'm doing this. And I built a website. My stepdaughter, 𝘄𝗲𝗀, helped me with that. I created the program, the Virtual Rockstar, got it all figured out, modules recorded, like the whole thing. I even had a few clients going through it. And I was ready to take it to the next level. And at the end of that year, the end of October that year, my husband was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma, cancer. And everything shifted, as I'm sure you can imagine. And I literally relegated this whole program to my unconscious. I'm not even kidding. It's really amazing because I had to really knuckle down and get good at go back to making a living the way I had been. I couldn't afford to move into an unknown area like this financially because I was supporting us. And, so 2.5 years of that, he died in 2016, unfortunately, early in the year. And about halfway through last year, I thought, I'd really like to take my process and go back, go online and share that with people. And at the beginning of this year, the middle of this year, I hired a coach, hired a branding expert. And here's the thing, we're working through this. And the branding expert I'm working with goes, so we need a moniker for you. You can't be the systems queen anymore. Like, what else could it be? And we're brainstorming. And all of a sudden I go, well, I own the virtualrockstar.com, the domain. And he goes, what did you just say? And all of a sudden, like this whole program came flooding back into my conscious mind. I had literally forgotten about it. I had to go find it. It was in a folder on my desktop. And there it was. And it just sort of like I've been able to update it, rework it, and now I'm ready to step into it 100%. Timing is everything though. It really is. So let's talk a little bit about this program. There are 4 phases to this program, and they pretty much follow the path that we've taken over the past 4 days in the challenge, filling in the blanks and details that you don't have filled in right now. So I want to just take a few minutes, go through that with these 4 phases so that you know exactly what you need to have in place in order to be ready to launch your online business, okay? So I'm going to do that in a second. I just want to go double check and see. Cool, okay. All right, so phase number 1. Oh, shoot, I forgot to change the pictures on any of these. Well, so you know what, you guys? I meant to put new images in each one of these yesterday, and I totally forgot to do it. So you just get to look at my virtual rock star smiling face as I go through these. Phase number 1, a virtual rock star is born. So all of these are rock star references, which I also love. So in phase 1, you define your ideal client and you break down your process. And then you define your process more clearly so that you know what to put into your course. And then we also talk about mindset. You get your mindset set. And by the end of this phase, you're really clear about all those things. Whoops. Okay. Phase 2 is all about finding your spotlight. So in this phase, you're really, it's where the metal meets, or the rubber meets the road, right? You're breaking down your teaching assets. You're laying out the pieces of your process puzzle. It's actually a jigsaw puzzle reference. And then you're building your program. And then we also talk about your pricing and delivery methods so that you are really clear about what you have to offer, your value, and offering that to the world. Phase 3 is all about attracting your groupies, I call that. So you're launching your program and you're doing what I have just done. You're really looking at which type of launch is going to work best for you and how to engage and impress those customers or potential customers so they can't wait to buy from you. That's really the outcome from phase 3. And it's a big, hairy module for sure. I mean, there's a lot to that, to phase 3. It's an essential part of your process. That's why I take so much time here. And I teach the extended 6-step launch formula there. So you got 4 steps during this launch. There are 2 more essential steps that can make or break a launch. And I also teach you how to create a compelling marketing page. I give you a fill-in-the-blank worksheet that I use for every marketing page that I've ever done for myself or for other clients. And it's designed to use that pain formula to get people invested in your solution. So I've had a 6-figure launch-driven business for years. And I created this system through trial and error over the course of those 10 years. It's step-by-step and detailed, so you feel confident creating your first launch and you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made over and over again. And then finally, I'm going to teach you how to drive organic traffic to your launch without spending a dime on Facebook advertising, using really simple action steps. And this is a big module. And like I said, it's a big part of the process as well. I want to tell you, though, this whole concept of using organic traffic. I know everybody's sort of said that organic traffic is dead. You can't get organic traffic anymore. You know, you have to pay for advertising. And the truth is you don't. Now, if you have a lot of money to invest in advertising, that's great. And, you know, go ahead and do that. But the truth is you can get organic traffic. I've got almost 300 people in that group. It's not 3,000 or 30,000, but it's also not 3. And I did that just by basically leveraging a lot of the tools I'm going to teach you during this phase. Okay. The 4th phase in this process is, I call it perform your ass off. You create a sales webinar just like this one that elevates your expert status, speaks directly to your ideal clients, and then converts participants into excited buyers. And that includes choosing a compelling topic for your webinar, creating really killer content, and my webinars that sell formula. I have a formula for this as well. So I teach you how to sell during the webinar without feeling salesy or pushy. And again, that's a formula I've used for years that has not only sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of products for me, but also had people leaving my webinars, whether they purchased or not, loving me and my content and wanting to interact with me further. And that's almost more important to me than the sale, truly. So I want to share a really quick testimonial with you. This is Brandy. Some of you saw her when I did the live stream with her on Wednesday. This is what she said. I like how the virtual Rockstar program literally held my hand and took me step by step through every process of building a complete program that I can easily market. And I couldn't ask for a better testimonial. That's exactly why I developed this program. So let's talk just briefly about how I deliver this, kind of what you get, okay? And I want to let me go over here really quickly before I do that. Hang on a second. I'm going to grab the link for the page, which I was supposed to have ready to go ahead of time, and I apologize. Didn't quite get this ready. While I'm doing this, let me know how you feel about this. You guys, does this feel like it would fill in the blanks for you? Does it feel like, wow, yeah, I can see that. It's a step-by-step process. And that whole concept of sort of taking you by the hand, for me, that's huge. And, if I will take the next step, if I know what I'm supposed to do, right? I mean, that's really, for me, the key. But if I don't, it's obviously, how am I going to take the step if I don't know what it is? And so my goal with any program I ever create is to make sure that you know the next step to take every single step of the way. That there's never, and there's really no fluff. I'm going to tell you guys, I am passionate about providing powerful content that I know is going to get you results. And I know that I did a webinar, or I did a live a week or so ago called I Am Not Your Guru, and that's a good thing. And what I talked about during that was the fact that I really don't appreciate a lot of these online gurus, I call them, who are selling solutions done like specific step-by-step systems or solutions that are supposed to bring you results quickly. And then you get into those programs, and some of them cost tens of thousands of dollars, and they're not really giving you what you need. Okay. They're sharing a little bit of information with the hope that you won't actually probably get through the whole course, which most people don't. My whole program is all about action, and I want you moving through it so that you take action. In fact, there's a 90-day fast action, club there that I'm going to talk about. Awesome. Okay. So let's keep going. So the Virtual Rockstar Modular course, and I just dropped the link finally in the comments. You get access to pre-recorded training modules covering the 4 areas that I just talked about, with worksheets, checklists, and action steps all along the way. So that's the modular course part of it. Okay. There's also a private Facebook group, not the same one as we've been using, the membership group. This is a private mentoring Facebook group community that's filled with entrepreneurs just like you who bring their passion and commitment to the table. So you receive bonus training and access to me via that group. And then I also go in twice a month and I do a live broadcast just like this inside the private group, and we basically give you the next step in the process, talk you through whatever step you're in so that you can look at where you are, and you can type your questions in and we interact that way. Okay. If you decide that you're going to do the Fast Action Club, which I highly recommend, then you get weekly live small action calls or group action calls, sorry. Small group, big action. Weekly live small group action calls. Thank you. That is a mouthful. And we jump on Zoom, which is an online video chatting platform, with others in the club. And there will only be 10 people in the Fast Action Club. And I give you one-on-one feedback. We brainstorm around your progress, give you call to action homework, and we hold you accountable. I didn't put that here, but it's on the sales page. We hold you accountable so that you are moving forward. And there's a group of people saying, hey, you said you were going to take care of that. It wasn't done. Why not? And a lot of people love that accountability. I'm a big accountability person as a coach. And then finally, you get one-on-one support from me in a 1-hour phone call at any time in the 90 days. You get an intensive call with me where we will tweak your plan and rocket your launch process. Okay. So that's really, those are that's how it's delivered. Okay. So here's the deal. It's the 90-day Fast Action Launch Club is what I'm calling it. It's designed to keep you moving keep you accountable, get your program done and launched in the next 90 days. Now, I know that your momentum is never better than when you're moving forward and with intention. That's what this club is designed to do. You get the benefit of working with a group of highly committed entrepreneurs who are also working through the same material at the same time. And you also get to be, one-on-one with me in those small groups. We come to the call every week. You're asked to be accountable. You talk about what you're sharing. You sit in the hot seat and we all give you feedback and you get my coaching. I've got 10 spots available for that program because I want to keep it small and everybody gets the attention, so that I can give you guys one-on-one attention. The price for that is $997. The value is $9,850. I priced it all out yesterday and it's almost a $10,000 value between my time and the material that you're getting and the group interaction. It's almost a $10,000 value. I'm offering it right now because it's brand new and I'm introducing it for just under $1,000, $997. So I realize, you guys, that we're coming into the holiday season. It's the beginning of October. Yes, you're going to have other obligations. Yes, it could be a busy time for you. And you know what? I mean, honestly, for me, here's what I know. January is the best time to launch, or the beginning of the year, January, February. Some of the best launches I've ever had have come out of those times. My first almost $100,000 launch was a $78,000 launch. I did at the end of January. So if you can get your butt in gear, knuckle down, and use some time, not all your time, but some time between now and the end of the year, and you're in this club and we're working together and you're moving forward, you could have a program ready to launch the beginning of January, which is when everyone's thinking about change, improving themselves, and they're more apt to invest in a program that's going to help them do that. Yeah, you're going to have to maybe work some over the holidays, but seriously, what the heck else are you doing anyway? I mean, really probably most customers, if you're, working almost any business, things sort of shut down the last couple of weeks of the year. That could be when you are head down, knuckling down, getting your launch, set up and ready to go. So you can do that. I think this is perfect timing. And I'm excited about the fact that we're coming into this holiday season because I think you work more efficiently, you work smarter. And all you really need to do is give me, an hour or so a week, if that, and I'll have you where you need to be in 90 days. So one thing that I noticed, and I'm throwing in a fast action bonus around this, a lot of you had a bit of a hard time not only coming up with, but really honing in on your superpower, exactly what that is and how you monetize it. So once you brainstorm through that a little bit, I think it gets a lot easier. And I'm an expert at helping you do that. So I'm adding that as a bonus to this whole process. Okay. So if you feel like you're not ready to move that quickly, and you would rather just do it yourself with less one-on-one help from me, I've created a do-it-yourself version of the program. It normally sells for, I think it's $19.95, $1,000, almost $2,000, right around there. I'm offering it for $497. It's half the price of the Fast Action Club, and you do get access to the program itself, the 4 modules, and also the private group. And I do go live in that group every other week. It's not a group coaching where we're on a video chat and you're talking to me and I'm talking to you, but you can put your questions in and ask questions. So the link to the sales page for this program is in the comments. It'll be open in a new tab if you click on it, so you don't have to worry about, going away from us. So if you want to go check that out, you can. I just want to look really quickly and see if anybody has asked questions. Cool. Let me go over here. Should have just done this to begin with. This program is in the comments. Whoops. Never mind. In a new tab. Hold on. If you click on it. Never mind. I love technology. That's why I was doing it on my laptop, because I could mute my laptop and I wouldn't have to hear myself talking to myself. Okay, cool. Looks like there are no questions. You guys have gotten really quiet, but you're all still here. So I'll take that. That's awesome. Great. Okay, so let's look at, there we are, who this program is for. This program is for you if you're ready to do something big with your superpower, and now is the time to do it. Like now is the time. You're going, yes, yes, yes. You're committed to taking action, putting in the work, and giving this program 100%. I only give my time to people who are really committed and ready to rock and roll. And I'm not interested in working with someone who wants to pay me and then never show up. I have had $3,000, $4,000 programs before where people bought them, got in, went through one, video and then never showed up again. And it's the worst feeling in the world. I'd rather not have you join than have you join and not do anything with it. And it's for you if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and change what you're doing to get bigger results. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that this is paramount, because this is going to feel uncomfortable. And sometimes you're going to feel like throwing in the towel and you're going to be frustrated. And that's why that 100% commitment is so important, because you have to be willing to work through those bad days with me and keep on going. Okay. So if that describes you, then that's awesome. And we're in, and I hope that we're going to be working together starting like today. I also want to talk about who this program is not for. This program is not for you if you aren't an action taker. Okay. Lots of people feel like they want change. Few people actually are willing to commit to getting it. And I've learned that from experience over time as a coach and trainer. You have at least some idea about your own superpower. You have to have that. If you don't have at least some idea, then that's not going to translate into a program that's going to sell. That's the key. You don't have to know everything. Please don't feel like that. And we can help you hone that. But if you don't have at least an idea, like there was somebody in the group last week who was saying, well, these are the 3 things that I have been told I'm good at, but none of those, I can't do any of those. Like that's not something I would ever put into a program. So cool. I feel that. And unless you can come up with something, I can't help you. I can definitely help you take the seed of your idea and expand it, but you have to at least have an idea of something that you're ready to put forward. And here's the biggest part. And I really want to talk to you guys one-on-one, face-to-face, like look me in the eyes. If you are afraid to invest in yourself and your business at this level, then this program is not for you. This is stinking affordable, you guys. $497 and $997 it's underpriced. And the price will be going up as I become a bigger and bigger deal in this space. Right now, I want to get it out there to as many people as possible. And so that's really why I'm offering at this price. This is a big investment though, and I absolutely get it. And you should feel uncomfortable about making this investment. You should. Okay. One of my favorite quotes is, if the risk you're taking doesn't scare you, it's not worthy of you. Okay. And I also know that will compel you to take action if you're invested and you have skin in the game. And I'll share just briefly, the very first program I ever invested in like early 2009 was with a guy named Alex Mandossian. And the program was called Use Ask the Expert Programs to Build Your Business and Sell Your Programs. And he did this, like, I want to say 3-hour-long webinar where he just went on and on and on about this program and how incredible it was. And I was sold. I knew that I needed this guy's information if I wanted to move to the next level and really start making an income online. And I absolutely knew it was the right choice. And it was $4,000. And I was just, oh my God, I cannot. I'm actually about to invest in a $5,500 program with a mentor myself to move myself to the next level as well. I've been going through her 5-day program this last week as we've done ours. And I was talking to Mark about it last night. And I said, it's not an investment I want to make right now. I'm working on getting out of debt, not into more debt. And he goes, yeah, but you got to invest in yourself. If this is the right person for you and you feel like her program is going to get you to the next level, then you have to make that investment. That's the best way to use your money. And, so with Alex in 2009, that Alex Mandossian program, I kid you not, I clicked on the link, I filled out the whole thing, my credit card information was in there, and I sat there with mouse in hand and I hovered over that buy now button for 10 full minutes. I'm not even joking, until I finally went, I'm doing it. And I clicked. And do you know, the first program I launched using what he shared, I made over $10,000. So I doubled my money. Like I paid for his program and made another $5,000, 6 actually. So, it should scare you. That's my point. Okay. Fantastic. So are you guys on board with this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense? And yeah, I want to talk about who the program's not for too, because I'm not interested, in working with people who aren't at that level and aren't just like ecstatic to say, yes, I'm making this investment, so let's do this. That's how I feel about this new mentor that I'm going to go invest with. I'm going to very happily give her my credit card this time. It's not going to be hover for 10 minutes. I'm going to click that buy now button because I know I've been looking for a long time. She's the right person for me, and she's the one I want to work with. Cool. So I'm just going to look really quickly. Come back over here. Cool. I don't see any other comments. You guys have grown very quiet, but that's okay. I'm just curious to know where you are with this, what you're thinking. You know, are you excited still? Are those same adjectives in play? Are you overwhelmed? Are you not sure? You know, now's the time for questions. I want to answer your questions, and they can really pertain to anything. And I have a few that came in ahead of time that I can also answer around this, and a few that I've kind of thought, okay, so this would probably be a question I'd have if I was looking at this. So I'm going to answer one of those, and then if you have questions, can you please type them in, guys? Anything is okay. Totally. If you're having, you know, apoplexy, you're like, I want to do this, but I don't know, or you know, I still need clarity on section or day 3 and that process. Please feel free to ask, because that's, you know, why we're here. I'm going to stay for a little while longer. So questions that I think you might have. I am not tech savvy. Can I still do this? Absolutely, 100% you can. I think not being tech savvy is an excuse a lot of people use for not moving forward with an online business. And the truth is, if you have a business at all anymore, you must be online. It's not like it was 5 years ago where it was optional. It's not optional anymore. And every single process that I teach you, there's a component to it that is probably going to be, well, actually, certainly 3 and 4 are fairly technical, but they're not technical to the point that you can't do it. And I'm going to be there to talk you through it. And worst case scenario, you go, I don't want to spend my time figuring this stuff out. I don't want to learn how to create an opt-in page and a landing page and a sales page. I have a done for you program, and I'll do it for you. And that's a whole other side of my business that I've been working the last 6 months. I love it when an expert comes to me and says, I'm not good at this. I don't want to put it together, but I want to launch my program. And I go, awesome. I'll do the whole thing for you. I'll coach you through it. And all you have to do is show up and be brilliant and share your expertise. So just know that, yes, you can, even if you're not tech savvy. Can I really launch my program without paying for advertising? Yes, you can. And I will share some specific ways for you to do that in module 3 that really don't involve spending thousands of dollars on Facebook ads that may or may not bring you results. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook ads, and it's more hate in the last year than love, because it really has become a crowded space and it's very expensive. And the truth is, unless you're willing to hire an expert to do those ads for you, you're flushing your money down the toilet. There is not a here, do it yourself Facebook advertising program that teaches you how to do it effectively, in my opinion, anymore, because it changes almost every week. So yes, you can get organic traffic, and we talk about that. Let me look and see if anybody has posted any questions, anything. Kate, my hesitation is simply time commitment. Currently free. In a few months, I'll be back in the gerbil wheel on contract, so I can't simply dial back the work. Totally understand that. I think it's really about finding the time, you know, and I don't know about you guys, but in the evenings, I tend to watch TV. I'll spend 2 or 3 hours watching TV. And that's time that if I was going to do this program, I could put in an hour of that a couple times a week to doing the program. I want you to work through it in a systematic, slow fashion. I don't want you to go in and consume all 4 modules and download all the worksheets and work through them in the first month even. That's not what I want you to do. I will encourage you not to do that. So it is about finding time in your already busy schedule. You might have a full-time job. You might have a part-time job. You might have another side hustle. Looking at your schedule and saying, how important is this to me? And where can I find the time? One of my favorite quotes is, if it's important enough to you, you will find a way. And if it's not, you'll find an excuse. And that that's not a bad thing. It might be that it isn't a priority for you. But if you're saying it is, and you really want to do this, then sacrifices must be made. And you can always find the way to do that, the place to do it. Angie, I'm still excited. I heard you say 1 hour time commitment, 1 hour a week. I feel that is truly enough to move forward. Oh, you feel that is truly enough to move forward. I'm also in direct sales, but I want to dip into this personal superpower outside of direct sales, and I want to ensure that I can do both side by side. Yeah, an hour a week, if you're truly working through that material, will get you through a couple modules a month at least. And yeah, so you because again, just like with the challenge, The training modules in this program are short and sweet. I'm not doing a 45-minute, training video. They're all like 10 minutes or less, or I think the longest one's 12. So the idea is for you to learn just what you need in that one little step. And then here's the worksheet. Now go apply it. And yes, an hour a week, literally, if you're working an hour a week over 3 months, over 90 days, that's 12 hours. And yes, you can get this definitely set up. The launch part might take you a little bit longer, but at the end of that process, you're going to be ready to launch. Okay. So I just want you to be clear about that. Yes, the educational piece, all the components of putting it together, you can do in about an hour a week. I will tell you that a launch will take you longer than that. But by the time you get to the place where you're ready to do a launch, then we look at that process and you find the time to make that happen too. Or you hire me to do it for you, one or the other. Cool. Love it. Okay, so another question that that I have gotten. What if I've never sold anything online before? Okay, well, you heard my story, right? I had never sold anything online before, but I knew I had a superpower that people needed. And I knew that I was really good at that training. And so I just thought, okay, so I'm going to offer it to them in a different way. So if you've never sold anything online before, I highly recommend working with someone who can help you. You can figure it out on your own. You can go Google, you can find out anything pretty much if you Google it. And it's going to take you a lot longer, and you're going to make mistakes along the way that you have to then go back and fix. I just don't recommend that. I think that's not smart. So how long will I have access to the program? It's a 90-day group coaching program. That's as long as the group coaching part lasts, where we're on the phone every single week and we're working together. It's 6 months of access to the content in the group, because I find that most people need that long, to keep going. So you'll be in the group, you'll have access to the program, you'll have access to my every other week live calls in the group after that 90 days. Okay. Is there a payment plan? That's another question that I get all the time whenever I offer anything that's over $25. And the answer is, I am not offering a personal payment plan. And I will tell you the reason why. It's stressful for me. And if your card gets declined, then I'm having to call you not as your trainer and your coach, but as someone who you owe money to. And that does not feel good for either one of us. So I have a personal policy that I don't offer payment plans anymore. However, there are a couple ways that you can make this work. If you have a credit card, you can put it on a credit card and you can pay that off over time. PayPal, and my payment processor is PayPal. And when you go to purchase, you'll see that. You can pay with a credit card via PayPal through that interface if you want. But if you have a PayPal account and you use PayPal, the PayPal credit has this option where you can actually, they'll give you 6 months, no interest, 6 months, same as cash. So if you qualify for their PayPal credit, you can take that $9.97 and you can spread it out over 6 months. So let's look at that. $9.97 divided by 6 is about $166 a month. And there's no interest. And so you have 6 months to pay it off. Just like when you go buy furniture and they do that, okay? The beautiful thing is they pay me all the money up front and they assume the risk. And if you miss a payment, they're the ones calling your ass, not me, which I'm happy about because I don't want to be in that role with you if we're in a learning coaching role, okay? So those are a couple options. But yeah, as far as a payment plan per se, I do not. All right, cool. So one last slide. And then I'm going to check questions one more time and we're going to call it a day. And I really appreciate you guys hanging in with me because that makes me feel like you are interested in what I'm saying. And I love that. So I told you about when I created my online business and I remember being really pissed off. I had a business that was working. I was making 6 figures. I loved it. And then it just literally disappeared overnight. And I had to figure out how to make money and how to pay my bills. And I wasn't happy about that. And when I went online, it felt like a tragedy. It was like, wow, this whole thing died. And now I got to do this instead. And there's so much to learn and blah, blah, blah. I got to invest all this money. Blah. And the bottom line is sometimes the things that feel the worst for you, the things that feel like they're the most challenging are happening for a really important reason. And when my husband was diagnosed, and the roller coaster of cancer treatment, which if any of you have ever been through that, is horrific, started, I was able to work from anywhere. And in fact, I had to say, I can't speak right now. I had 2 speaking engagements in 2015. Well, one in 15 and one in early 16, right before he died. And both of them were an absolute shit show, pardon my French, because both of them, he got sick. He had a medical emergency. I had to go anyway. The companies were stressing out. Is he going to be okay? Is she going to make it? I was stressing out. I had to arrange for care for him. It was a nightmare. And so I literally had to end my speaking career for those 2.5 years. And thank God I had an online business, because if I hadn't, I don't know what I would have done. If I'd had an actual job where I had to show up 8 to 5 every day, I really don't know what I would have done. Because if you've ever nursed someone with terminal cancer, there's a lot of time and energy. It's a full-time job. And I was able to work that into my online business. So it was really a huge blessing. And I just want to end I wanted to share that part of my story with you at the end, because I want you to think about what things might look like if you had a program you could launch in January that would become a really steady side income stream for you and could even eventually, conceivably, replace your income if you're working at a full-time job or a part-time job, or at least work as a side hustle alongside what you're doing. What would that look like for you? How would that feel? And would it be worth investing time and energy and some money right now to get to that place down the road? For me, it was. Absolutely was. And I am so grateful that I did that. So there you have it. That's how you do a wrap up webinar. Blah, blah, blah. Rock and wrap up webinar. I hope that you guys got a lot out of that. I'm glad that you joined me. I appreciate you hanging in with me, even through a few of the technical things. Just so you know, I'm going to download this live video to YouTube, and then I'm going to clean it up so that none of that mistake is even there. And then I'm going to re-upload it so it looks like a beautiful, clean video, because technology. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. And you know what? If you decide you want to work with us, I would absolutely love to help you with this. I'd love to share the gift of this online experience that I've had. JJ, were you totally sure of your superpower, or you had more than one and you had to hone in on this one? I absolutely have more than one. You know that, Kate. I mean, my original superpower was, how do you have a successful direct sales business? Build your direct sales team. Okay. That was my first program. That was my first ebook. That's where I started. That was my superpower that I leveraged. And I leveraged it really well. 6 figures well. 50,000 people that I worked with well. You know, how many? 6 or 8 programs that I launched well. I leveraged it for almost 10 years. And now I'm moving into a new superpower that I'm more passionate about. And I identified this one because people started asking, how have you done this? You know, I have an organizational superpower. I'm anally organized. That's where my organizational program came out of. That was a superpower. And there was a subset superpower because I did an organizational program specifically for that niche, the direct sales niche I was working in. So absolutely, yeah, did not know, you know, really necessarily what I wanted to do specifically, but I asked myself that question: what am I good at? What is my superpower? And I did the same thing here, you know, and this is what I'm great at. You know, I can take a little seed of what you think you're good at, and I can help you hone it and nail it down so clearly that you go, oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And that's what I do. Great value. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you. Great to know this. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thanks for being here. The replay will be up, and you can access that if you want to go back and listen to my wording. If you want to use what I've talked about today to build on, for your own free webinar, this is really the formula I used is pretty much what I take you through in the program as well. Okay, thanks you guys. The link, I'm going to post the link again just because, and I will also put it'll be in the description of this as well, but just want to make sure that it's relevant. And if you're in the comments that you see it, head over there, check out my beautiful sales page that I spent all day working on yesterday and some time this morning. Let me know what you think. Come back to the group. If you want to share how great this live was with other people and talk about what you took away from that, that would be awesome. And you guys are amazing. I love you. Rock on. Have a fabulous weekend. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.